Hello and welcome everyone to the first ever episode of the Collectitude show. My name's Adrian from Odd Couple Statue Reviews, and we have
Jason from the Odd Couple Statue Reviews.
And all the way in Washington, D.C., we have Thor Gunderson, Darth Castle.
By way of the Death Star, yes, sir. Good to be back, everybody.
Yeah. So anyway, guys, for the first episode, I think it's pretty exciting. We've got a lot of members that aren't here for the show today, but it's okay because we're playing for other ones. And
actually, let's give a shout out to the blokes we're missing. So we're missing Ian Dempster, the ID statue collector, who is in Guantanamo Bay at the moment. No, he hasn't been locked up. He's been sent there to deployment. So he'll be with us again shortly. Rodney has family in this week. PJ's got family come up and graduations, so he's out too. And Jedi Chris is not with us also, but will be back with us shortly. We've been trying to put the show together for a few weeks now, and we've finally decided it's time to get it out there.
Yeah, it is. So yeah, we've got some exciting stuff to go through the show today. Jason, take it away. What a flip.
Well, first off, guys, what the Collectitude is. So look, guys, basically we're not just about statue collecting. We collect basically everything to do with pop culture. We're going to be talking about movies, TV shows, everything to do with pop culture. So basically, me and Adrian, we specialise in DC. We've got PJ, who's mainly in Marvel and Star Wars, and Thor and Rodney that are into their Star Wars and Marvel too. So basically, we'll be covering a lot of different bases over the weeks. Hope you enjoy the show and stick with us. Thor, what are your thoughts and feelings on what the Collectitude is?
Well, it's as a whole, what brought you on the journey, what I mean? It's comic books, animation, movies, it's all as a collective, what I mean? Something had to bring you to this point to collect these pieces. So, that's what it's up, the attitude as a whole, as a collector, not just statues, but the whole deal.
Well, simply put, but correct.
That's it.
Well, Collectitude, really, it's just a bunch of awesome guys together talking about stuff they love, man. They're just creating, having a good Collectitude.
It's basically like just sitting around in the old school comic book shops where we used to sit and have our debates and that over the issues.
Man, damn, you guys are old.
Yeah, well, it wasn't digital back then, Adrian.
Comic book shop, what's that?
When you wanted pornography, you had to go down to the shop and buy it, get the little brown paper bag, now it's all fucking discreet online. But anyway, look, guys, there's been some big announcements this week, so I reckon let's jump into them straight away,
Let's do it.
So, here we go. First off was the beautiful Ivy. She was absolutely amazing. I had to get this one straight away as soon as I saw it. What about you, Thor?
Well, as a former patron of live entertainment establishments, this was particularly. I really enjoyed this piece. The athletic tightness of this one. A lot of people were like, "Oh, it's just not feminine enough or curvy," and to the contrary. Gunderson really likes this one.
This one I think works the pole, brother.
Oh yeah, exactly. He'd get my cash, I can tell you right now.
So we already know when PO date came up, Thor was making it rain.
Yeah, 100%. You know what, Thor calls in the corner with the money gun. That's what I
said. Me too. Like when you look at the pictures of,
to scale and everything.
It's absolutely amazing. We were actually fortunate enough to see this one live in person when we went to Sideshow. Shout out to Susan, who told me that she knew I was in the market for green with Envy Ivy, and she said, "You should just wait." And I'm like, "Why? Why?" And they bring it to me. No, I can't tell you anything. And when I saw it there, I was like, "Wow, that is absolutely amazing." And the pictures don't do it justice, guys. And that's not my opinion. That's me seeing it in person.
But look at the base. The base gets me, man. Yeah. The base, that's good. It's so to the character and everything. All the Poison Ivies we've seen.
And the face sculpts. I mean, shit, have they done a bad DC face sculpt since the Gal Gadot Wonder Woman? I can't think of any. I'm sure there's plenty of people that don't like DC that'll be out there thinking, yeah, well, Supergirl and rah, and all that sort of stuff. But, mate, in their current lineups, these have just been absolutely amazing. I mean, look at that body. Look at the vines and everything wrapped around the body and everything. It's absolutely
all right, Jason, relax, bud.
Totally understand.
I mean, I like that the plant looks like it's coming out of the Gotham Street and everything as well. It looks like she's just launched an attack on Gotham City, sort of thing, and the exclusive head sculpt, which a lot of people didn't like.
Actually, I like it.
I think it looks great in comparison with the regular. So I mean, like, it actually tells a story, in my opinion. So you've got the regular and the exclusive, where the regular's where she's, come in here and, be my friend and seducing you. And then once she's got you, that's what she becomes.
That's what she's doing to Thor.
Yeah, that's what she's doing.
What do you think on the face sculpt?
Well, now that you put them next to each other, you can see how much different the hair shade is. You know what I mean? The one on with the flowers looks a lot more orangish, and then the sinister one is a lot more red. But even on the forehead, you got vines and stuff coming out.
Through the hair.
Look, a crown.
I do. Me personally, I prefer the regular, but they both look good. I mean, the face sculpt is incredible. I'm trying not to look at the body, but yeah, I like them both.
I just noticed though too that the hair looks like if that's sculpted polystone and not PVC, I do worry about where the pieces of the hair are actually touching on the statue base. I think that could lead to scratch issues, particularly on the exclusive head. Yeah,
I see what you mean down on the shoulders.
But I mean, look, Sideshow will probably be aware of all this, and I'll make these minor changes.
But see, you never know. As Jason said, with pictures, that doesn't really do it justice. You'll never know those issues. Yeah, you actually get it in person.
You can't give something a review off pictures alone. You need to really have it in person or have seen it firsthand. Yeah. But the next one we've got is Elektra, the premium format that's just been released now. I'm not a Marvel fan.
No.
I shouldn't say I'm not a Marvel fan because I am.
I
like Marvel. Yes, I read Marvel comics. I watch Marvel movies and I love them and stuff like that. But I'm predominantly DC. But this is where I was saying, like, the skill level and that they've been using in their DC line. I think they're actually transferring it over to their Marvel line as well now. Like, you're actually starting to see a step up in their game with the new Marvel ones that they're doing.
Yeah.
So
what about you, Thor? What do you reckon?
Well, when I first saw this piece, I wasn't really a big fan of it because of the pose. It looked like you ever seen a woman looking like the tall mirror getting ready? That's to me what it looked like. Like she's getting her situation together to go out. But then when
before she leaves the house,
right, exactly. That's to me what it looked like. But then they showed some arm position changes, and it really changed the whole piece for me. And especially with the katanas and everything. And it really made it into a whole different piece for me. They had the one where she's pointing the weapon at you.
Yeah, it really up now, made the whole piece. She's got the arm extended or down. Yeah, that's a game changer.
Yeah, it is big time.
I mean, because you really, like, we've only really seen that sort of thing with the Mythos lines and stuff like that previously.
Right. The only thing I never liked with Elektra, I mean, this is just a character thing. Is I never liked the do-rag kind of thing. If they would have made a head with no do-rag, it'd have been hard pressed for me not to order this one. But this one is really looking good to me. And once again, frequenting the live entertainment. Dave, thank you very much. Right on time.
I just thought I better put that picture up for you when you talk about that.
You know what? It's just a big,
with the steam. It looked like she's walking right out on the stage to swing on the pole.
Glucose smoke machine.
You know what? It's just a real big, hit to the wallet when you see these type of pictures with Sideshow.
Well, look, I did say that. I mean, I couldn't say much about what we saw there because we had to sign a non-disclosure agreement and stuff like that. But we did say that if you're a Marvel or a DC fan, you're going to be broke the next couple of years. Just with the stuff that we saw there, you're just like, no way. Like, I know that they're a company and they've got factories pumping this stuff out, but geez, slow it down a bit. Let us take a breather. When the wallet needs some relaxation time.
Needs some cool down time.
Now,
this is the one I want to talk about.
This one, we were actually fortunate enough to see the day that it was getting the photography done. Now we're still waiting for the official pictures and everything to come out, but we do have just this one here. Now, that's the exclusive head sculpt. And we do know that it also comes with an exclusive boxing glove arrow.
Yeah.
Wow. In person, I'm in a this is a PO day one for me. You know, that's without
too.
question. Now, I've seen people talking about, oh, you know, I prefer a Hawkeye and stuff like that. Man, why not both?
Yeah.
Get the two standing side by side, and you've got a representation
Like,
of
really,
the
if
archers.
they're that good, why choose?
Yeah.
Why not both?
Well, actually, we know the Green Arrow is the better archer.
Here we go.
No.
I knew it was coming.
No. Here's the thing. I'm actually going to tell you. There actually was a comic book that covered that. And it was JLA versus Avengers. Okay,
yeah,
so you had the Justice League versus the Avengers in the two separate universes. And in that, you actually had Green Arrow and Hawkeye having the face-off with the arrows.
Yeah.
And Green Arrow won.
Very well.
So, hey.
It would have to be a close one still.
When it's a comic book written by both houses and one person wins over the other, I'm going to give credit to that guy.
Yeah.
So,
True.
So Thor, is this one you're going to get, or?
Yeah, I believe I'm gonna be going for this one. Back in the late '90s, I believe I read Volume 2 of Green Arrow, and I was a huge fan. And I can tell you, I mean, I haven't seen this in person like you guys have, but I've seen the Hawkeye in person, and to me, this one looks like way more detail on this than on the Hawkeye. You know what I mean? On the outfit, you can see the quilted on the shoulders, and I've always loved something about his gloves. I've always loved when they got those compartments on the outside of the glove, and the base, you know, with the water, and he's standing on the pier, and you know, it's this looks fantastic. This really looks fantastic, and even the quiver looks phenomenal. You know what I mean?
One thing I noticed with the pier, do you think that he's actually made to go more with Swamp Thing?
I'm not sure. I mean, because Swamp Thing is meant to be in the forest. Like, it looks kind of like I didn't see the base on that, so I'm not sure.
I'm just saying because I'm not sure if you played it, but have you played Injustice 2?
I haven't, no.
In the storyline arc there, he actually comes across Swamp Thing at the cabin on the lake, and he's standing on the pier, and he's actually firing the arrows off. So I don't know whether it's an homage to that as well, like a little sneaky Easter egg in there. But look, my biggest concern with this piece is where am I going to put him? Am I going to put him with his wife, Black Canary, or am I going to put him with the Justice League where he belongs?
You can't because of Bird of Prey.
Well, that's what I'm saying. You know,
that's something for later. First, get the statue, and then we'll worry about the placement. That's looking way too far ahead, Jay.
Now, this is one that my wife saw. As soon as she saw it, bang! I want it. So
yeah,
your wife says she wants it.
She wants it. Yeah. She's a big Catwoman and Harley fan. She likes
a lot of women are.
Yeah, she likes a lot of the females. So Ivy also she likes. So she likes the Gotham girls. So much. She actually likes Zatanna too. So again, more Gotham girls.
Zatanna looks fantastic.
I mean, just by looking at it, does that look like Art Germ Lau to you?
Who, the Catwoman?
Yeah, I think the face sculpt and that's very Stanley Art Germ Lau.
Could be. I mean,
the way the body's drawn and stuff. But look, what I like about it is that's basically the outfit that she wears in the comics now.
Really? Yeah, I haven't read the comic, but I mean, that's the latest one. But you know, all respect to the latest Mrs. Wayne. This particular pose is very appealing to Gunnison.
Yes, congratulations, Adrian. That's your new wife.
Lucky man, sir.
He punches above his weight, Batman. But hang on a minute. Hang on. He's a multi-billionaire and he's Batman. You know, is he really punching above his weight?
Like, if things all below, to be honest.
Yeah, maybe below.
Yeah.
Now, this is one that just got dropped the other day. Well, actually, last night. I saw cable premium format for the Marvel fans out there. Now, what are they going to do? Are they going to go the comic book route, or are they going to go the James Brolin movie version?
It might go like the Thanos way, you know, kind of in between, kind of updated a little bit. You know what I mean? Probably to go with the Magneto and the Wolverine, because the Wolverine to me looks like Astonishing X-Men. The way the outfit looks, you know, that's how it looks to me. But I think it'll be mostly toward the comic side. I don't think you're gonna see Josh.
So you think we might go more along the lines of that art print that we saw with Deadpool and Cable together? Yeah,
right.
Yeah,
the same. Definitely.
All right. This is one that you're very excited about, Thor.
Yeah. This looks great. I mean, Green Lantern is my favorite. Sorry, y'all. Green Lantern is my favorite DC character. I'm more lines of Hal Jordan, but this John Stewart looks great. And just to me, the previous two Sideshow Green Lantern ones I wasn't a fan of, but this one looks fantastic in my opinion.
And if that's an indication of the pose that they're going to be using for it, he's going to go very well. He's going to go very well with the original Green Lantern premium format exclusive, the one with the glowing fist.
Yeah.
Now, something I just thought about actually. Now, what do you think if in the future they come out with like a Guy Gardner and then you have like the whole?
There has been a massive call for a Guy Gardner premium format Green Lantern.
Yeah. So I think it'll just add more value to the collection of people that have all of them.
But you know what? You know what I'd really like to see? I want to see a Red Lantern Atrocitus.
Mm.
A good one.
Yeah, a good one. Even an Orange Lantern, La Fleas. Something like that. Like, do something a bit more out there, So you can, as you said, there is a lot of fans of the Green Lantern story arcs and stuff like that. So, in that regard, I
always want to see a Kilowog too.
Dude, yeah. Who wouldn't want a Kilowog? Who doesn't want the Master at Arms?
Yeah. Well, there's so much potential you see for these companies to pick up on, especially Sideshow to do. Like, they haven't even really reached the potential that they could.
You know what I think will be the tipping point for that, Thor? I think when we see the Green Lantern Corps movie done.
Right. Oh, they still plan on going through with it.
Yeah. There's it's actually going to take a major part because now that they're bringing in Darkseid and like the rest of the external threats in the universe, and that you're going to have.
Well, even without the storyline, they need to do a good Green Lantern film.
Oh yeah.
Come on. You can't leave us with that.
No,
you cannot leave us with that.
Well, I never saw a Green Lantern movie. What are you talking about?
It never happened.
No, I thought that was just a prelude to Deadpool.
Oh man!
Well, seeing all these coming soon and pre-order options coming up in the foreseeable future really is just a bit of a tease.
The only thing that's good about it is we are looking at probably November, December 2019. So
we have time to save.
We've got time to save.
Collectors always find a way to find something, even if it's not out. Supplementary things to buy and use your money on. So you're never really saving your money. It's a lie. No. It's a lie.
Okay, now this is one that a lot of people are talking about too that we've just been told about. So Mr. Freeze premium format. Which way are they going to go? I reckon they're going to go more classic comic book style. I think the Arkham Knight series from Prime 1's pretty much sewing up the variation market.
Yeah.
So I think, and also because they work with Prime 1 and that, I don't think they want to really screw Prime 1 over by bringing out an Arkham Knight version or anything like that. What do you think? Are you looking excited? As the Batman fan, you're excited for this one?
You know what? Yeah, but to be honest, I'm more excited about the Green Lantern. I'm going to be straight up honest with you. Okay. I am a Batman fan and everything, but the Green Lantern, as we said, because we got the original one right here, the premium format original, it would just look so good. I can just see it right now. I'm envisioning the man cave, just walking in, just seeing that next to, you know what I mean? Mr. Freeze, I'm pretty sure it's going to be phenomenal, but... as we said, you're spending a lot of money and you only got so much money, so you got to choose priorities.
Yeah.
And I think I'll be leaning more to the Green Lantern. But, direction and so forth, I'm not sure with Mr. Freeze.
Well, I think we need to wait for concept art on that one before we can really make a call. What about you, Thor?
Yeah, this is actually one of my favorite Batman villains. And when I can't wait to... I was torn over that Prime 1 one, but it was just too much money, so I couldn't swing that one. But this one... If it's looking right, then I'm gonna make a move on this. I need to see some ice and snow and all kind of stuff.
Yeah, you need that in the base, and it would be cool to integrate it up to the character and everything, not just stick in the base.
What about an exclusive Nora?
And I was just about to say that. I mean, I don't want them to, feel that they copying too much off of the Prime 1 one, but I would love to see Nora in there somewhere. On this piece, because this one I think what really did this for me was the animated show, and the guy's voice was just spot on, perfect, cold, and oh man, it was.
You're talking about the Batman animated
series, yeah.
Mm.
So
there was also they did a movie, didn't they?
Yeah, they did.
Yeah, it was a Sub-Zero or something like that. It was called.
They were trying to remove Batgirl's organs to put into Nora, I think, and revive her or something like that. I believe it was. And Batman stopped him. Yeah.
Pretty hardcore.
Yeah.
Yeah, jeez.
Well,
Supergirl.
Now that's got Art Germ Lau all over it. It's haven't got his signature on it. Now everyone's going, "Oh, great! We're finally going to get the Supergirl that we deserve," and stuff like that. Now, guys, the last one was Art Germ Lau as well, and I pointed out something that the art box art on and the art print of the Supergirl looked very much like the face sculpt. You know, so don't get too excited until we see the actual statue. I mean, I like the fact that it's rebirth Supergirl. You know, she looks a bit more playful and stuff like that. But let's see how it turns out in the sculpting process and stuff like that. Insane. I'm a massive fan of their Supergirl. You know, I mean, I know it copped a lot of flack that people hated the face sculpt and stuff like that. But in person, I loved it.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one. Like, just in person, it's just, I like the face sculpt and everything like that. Pictures, not so much. Again, the pictures, before statues, going to say it 100 times, I'll say 100 times more. Pictures either, like, make it overrated or underrated.
Yeah. Well, this picture here, this is just the concept art that they're working off. So, and hold on a second. I'll blow it up a little bit. There we go. That's a bit better. So, yeah, at the moment, I would definitely be getting it. If it's going to be anything like the box, like the art that they're showing there. I mean, I'm a big fan of Art Germ Lau. I mean, I've got a lot of his DC Collectibles stuff, pretty much most of his Sideshow work and that as well. Yeah. So, yeah, big fan.
Now, would you keep both of them, or would you move the
hell yeah. One? Hell, no. I wouldn't be getting rid of one. Because, I mean, that Supergirl that I've got, the old one, is very much the 90s one that I grew up on.
Okay.
You know, like the Michael Turner type Supergirl. So, and this one's like completely different. Like, she's actually a bit more, even though in this she looks a bit cuter and stuff like that, she's actually a lot more aggro, you know, in the comics and that now. You know, she actually became a Red Lantern and stuff like that.
Oh,
She really doesn't like being told what to do by her cousin. You know what I mean? And stuff like that. And they clash. Yeah, clash heads quite a fair bit. Typical teenage girl. You know, so yeah. Now, yes.
We were talking about this on Facebook too. I'm excited for this one.
I'm very excited. Look, I mean, I love the Prime one, but I don't do third scale, and we've got customs laws here in Australia that anything under $1,000 is exempt. And when you've got to pay $1,200, slap another 30% on it just for bringing it into the country because it's over $1,000 mark. Yeah, import taxes are beautiful.
It's great. It's fantastic.
So that's why anything that I've got in my collection that's over $1,000, I usually wait and get it off a second-hand collector here in Australia.
Right.
So I've run out of room and I can't hold it. Oh, fantastic! I'll come in there and get it at the end.
All right, so guys, straight into it. First thoughts. Thor, what do you think?
I'm gonna tell you this looks great. As you said, I was hurt on the Prime one because it's 1/3 and it was really expensive. You know what I mean? But this,
well, in Australian dollars, it was nearly $2,500.
Yeah,
so I heard someone saying 1,200 range. I'm not sure. Like in the comments.
Yeah, that's $1,200 US.
Yeah, US.
But then you got to factor in shipping and import fees.
So it'd be around $2,000.
Around $2,000, yeah, Australian.
Yeah, it should be. So it is a bit.
If I were to get this, I still want to get Bane one day. I would want to pair them up together because these two stories came out like around the same time. Like first it was Death of Superman. The next thing you know, they're breaking Batman's back. And I remember me and Ryder were like, what the hell is DC doing? They're just wiping out all their people. You know what I mean? But yeah, I'm really excited to see this.
I'll get you one better. You know, it'd be an awesome display. Superman, Batman, Bane, and Doomsday.
Yeah, that'd be hot.
Not bad.
Especially with these new ones coming out. You know.
Good opportunity. Yeah, it's just the thing that lacks for me is just the pricing. So pricey. It's like,
well, it's a Maquette. Okay, so let's use, for example,
Thanos.
the last Maquette that they brought out, which was Wolverine versus Hulk.
No, Thanos was a maquette.
Oh, sorry, yeah, Thanos was a Maquette. That was $1,200.
It was $1,200. Yeah.
Yeah. So we could be looking at about the same price. Depends on what sort of a base and design that they put into it. If they want to go another route, they keep it simplistic and minimalistic, which they could do too, to try and keep the weight and the price and that down. You could be looking at probably under $1,000. So maybe about I reckon the $790, $850 mark.
Is for the final.
Yeah, we'll probably come in.
I kind of doubt it, to be honest, just because of the previous history of the pricing of the previous ones. So
you might be right. Considering I'm thinking Swamp Thing.
Yeah, and like to be honest, like why would they? Like why would they? You know, because people still want to get it. It might not appeal to us because, damn it, in the exchange rate, we just get destroyed with anything above $1,000.
Now, even in saying it, because he's a Maquette, I think if they did him 5th scale, which is what most of their Maquettes are, if I'm not wrong.
What's his name? Wolverine and Hulk, that was with 5th scale, yeah.
Yeah, what about Thanos? Is that true quarter scale or?
I remember they were saying he was a little bit bigger than quarter scale. It was supposed to be quarter scale, but some folks did the measurements and he was a little bit bigger, but it was meant to be quarter scale, yeah.
Because I think with Doomsday, they'd probably do 5th scale in the Maquette range, and then that way he'd probably be about the same size as Bane.
Okay, yeah, because you got to imagine
quarter scale, like with Bane, like Bane's pretty big, but Doomsday's another good half meter to a meter taller again. So
if you're talking about scaling, how would you put Doomsday compared to the scaling of like Darkseid, perhaps?
Doomsday would be about the same size as Darkseid, yeah.
Oh, is he? Oh,
yeah.
Like, yeah, I always thought of that. Like, if they're like sitting like next to each other, like
Doomsday's thicker, like wider in the shoulders and the arms and stuff like that.
Look at him, man. He's got like bones sticking out in front. He has to be. Like, Jesus Christ, look at that.
But that's basically all the goodies that they've shown us so far.
Now that we've looked all through it, quickly, guys, I'm gonna start with Thor. Favorite one, the one you're like most anticipated for, what would it be? Or you
Green Arrow, no question. There's no question because I used to read them, and the statue looks phenomenal. You know what I mean? Just the detail and everything alone, definitely be Green Arrow for me.
I have to pull the girl from the ads for the tacos. Why not both?
Okay, no los dos.
Why not both? I'm sorry. I've got to get the I'm just saying that I'm going to be completely dead broke, man. I don't get the cigarettes. That's what I need to do, just so I can afford these statues, because it's going to be killing me.
Fair enough. Look, I said earlier that I was really keen for the Green Lantern, the premium format, the new one coming out. But to be honest, after going through all of it and thinking about it, that Doomsday Maquette, even though the price, it would be so good. Like it just from the art print, man, I foresee it. I foresee how badass I would have to have in your collection. And you got like Darkseid, like you were saying, how you put him with Superman, and you got Batman, and Doomsday.
Yeah,
Superman. Man, if we had it, to be honest, I'd love to put him next to Darkseid. Just have them like right next to each other, and then having the different Supermans if you want to match it up. But I think that's why I'll choose it. It's just the price, man. Like as you said, like if you ship that in customs and stuff, we're looking at an extra 30% tax and import tax, and you got to really consider that. So
now, what do you think the EX will be on that? Probably the Superman cape on the the kind of look like the flag.
If they're going to do it from the comic book, it'll have to be basically snagged on the pole. In the wind with the holes and tears and that in it. So I think you're on the money with that. Would probably be the best version of an X.
So I know Rodney always wanted to see Lois Lane holding the body or whatever, but
they're not going to do that.
That's a whole nother piece.
They're not going to do that. They're not going to do that one, man. So, I mean, DC take a gamble with their pieces more so than Marvel. Like they don't have the stipulation because of Disney. They can't be battered, bruised, or whatever, So DC don't have that, but they're still not going to show one of their most iconic heroes.
There is still a line. There is still a line.
Yeah, there's still a line.
Statues.
I think the dumbest one I heard from Disney is on the XM Vader set on the little child Vader, Anakin. they did detail in the sand, like the sand looked like individual grains, but Disney said no because it didn't look like the movie poster. Like we need the sand to be smooth. I'm like, that's stupid. You know what I mean? So yeah.
There's some craziness there.
Yeah.
So now that we're on the Disney Marvel thing, what did everyone think of Infinity War?
It was great. I loved it.
I love the different change in pace. Like, first of all, I was worried in Infinity War that they'll do the comic book Thanos, which is like, I love how they did Thanos in this one. Actually, he made sense, and you can kind of see where the villain is going with it. Like, it's not complete nonsense in that regard. It's like, it actually makes sense. It's bad for us, but if you look at how he's gone up and stuff, how his world he was immortal, I believe, like him, his race, immortal, and due to the resources and the population, and that's why when Krypton Anarchy and that's why Travis Universe wipes out half. So I thought that was fantastic in Infinity War doing the movie. I love the change of pace in regards to that the heroes actually lose in that film. All the ones, especially because with Disney, there's always the formula of, villain introduced, reasoning behind it explained, and then, they beat, the heroes win. And this is the one where Thanos just basically bitch slapped them all, and they couldn't do anything about it. So
yeah, look, coming into it, there was a few things that were concerned. I wouldn't say worried me, but concerned me in the lead up to the movie. Like when you saw the trailers and stuff like that. Number one, when it seemed like Captain America grabbed Thanos' hand and stopped his punch. And I'm like, whoa, man.
Yeah, I know.
Particularly when you're in the opening scenes of the movie and you see the Hulk get absolutely pounded by Thanos with one arm behind his back, basically. And then be too afraid to come out for the rest of the movie because he doesn't want to get smacked in the head again. So I was like, with that regard, I was like, wow, okay. And then when you see it, and like basically, there's more. He was reaching for something, and he went to stop his hand, and then he just used his other hand to
just like
backhand him and send him flying through the trees, sort of thing. You're like, yeah that'd be more like it.
Thought you got to agree. The biggest roast in that film was with what's his Vision.
Yeah.
When Vision died and Thanos brought his ass back.
Oh,
yeah.
I knew it was going to happen. I knew it was going to happen.
I kept saying, rewind time and just do it anyway.
I knew it was going to happen. I was like, he got the time stone. Okay. I knew it.
I was too busy in my popcorn. I was with my friends, and they're like, and we all just started losing it. And like, he brought his ass back to kill him again. That's just like, that's roasted.
But after all the Marvel movies, I've got to say, the way that they've done their villains thus far, we're talking Ultron, Baron Strucker, don't even get me started on Doom. Like, Jesus. We're absolutely woeful. Like they took these great, iconic villains and that and just turned them into... Like they could have maybe not even been there.
I think you shouldn't even mention the Fantastic Four, especially with that new one they tried to do. The most recent that failed.
But I think Marvel have really redeemed themselves in the villain stakes with how they portrayed Thanos. It was particularly over the changes of the comic. I'm probably going to get some thumbs down for this one, for what I'm about to say, but I wasn't a fan of the Infinity War comic. I didn't enjoy it.
The Gauntlet or the War, because it was like three of them. Because this is crazy. This is something I had a problem. This is actually supposed to be Infinity Gauntlet, because Infinity Gauntlet was the first one. Then Infinity War came second. You know what I mean? But they just named it Infinity War. So
you're right. I'm talking about the Infinity Gauntlet, like the original story. I mean, there was just some things I just couldn't comprehend about Thanos. Like, he's so powerful and stuff, and he does all this for a chick that won't even look at him.
But I mean, if you think about it, how many wars have been fought over women? You know what I mean? That's the most powerful weapon in history of man. You know what I mean? But it wouldn't make more sense for this.
Yeah, you know what I mean? They go to war, and at the end of the war, they get the woman.
Right. Well, true.
And Thanos being such a super powered villain in the Marvel universe, you would think that he wouldn't be so persuaded that easily. Maybe it fooled a bit, but that's
what it was. I mean, in the movie, the reasoning behind why he wanted to do it, and you actually see the benefit of his work, like when he's talking to Gamora and she says, about how bad her planet was, and he goes, "You haven't been back there, have you? Like, the place is a paradise now.
The time
there is no hunger, there's no poverty." everyone's got ample resources, you know, like, and in 100 or so years' time, I'll come back and do it again. You know, like...
Right. So why he has a little vacation on his farm?
Well, look, a lot of people went, oh, what the hell? Now, those who read the original book, were like,
he went back to his farm,
that's it. Mission accomplished. He's not an evil tyrant dude. He's actually, and that was more, in the comics, 1 minute he was doing it for a reason, and then the next he's doing it because he's an evil conqueror and tyrant of the universe. You know what I mean? Whereas in this one, he went in for an end goal, achieved his goal, and that's it.
And the movie did well to portray that goal since the beginning.
Mic drop.
So
actually, there's a Thor book, and I mean, I don't know if you've read this one. It's called Blood and Thunder, where Thor goes berserk. They actually had to go to Thanos for help to stop this dude. You know what I mean? So that just tells you right there. And it's one book where him and the Surfer threw down with Odin, and that was particularly special. You know what I mean? But yeah, you're right. He's very intelligent. You know what I mean? And that's the only thing I really didn't like about this movie. For some reason, Brolin's voice didn't do it for me. You know what I mean? And whenever I thought of Thanos, for some reason, I always wanted like Ray Winstone to play, have it do his voice, like that deep. You know what I'm talking about? You know the guy I'm talking about? Yeah, I've always wanted to see him do Thanos. But I mean,
that's the guy that did the voice of Thanos in the animated series. Yeah.
I'm not sure. I don't think. No, it was a black guy that did it in the animated series. Ray Winstone. He was in the Departed.
That guy in at WonderCon.
Him. That's him. Yeah. Ray Winstone was in the Departed with Jack Nicholson, and he was in that last Indiana Jones. He was the one that kept saying Jonesy. You know, that's Ray Winstone.
Oh yeah.
You know, got this. Yeah, and he was in that Beowulf movie. He did Beowulf's voice.
Yeah. So Thor, what do you think about, like, one of my favorite parts also in Infinity War is the connection to all the characters in the Marvel universe and tied into the story so perfectly. I don't know about you guys, but that's what I noticed in the movie. I'm like, damn, you know, how they put in, it wasn't too rushed, because my worry was there were so many characters in one film, like core characters too, like, you know what I mean? I thought it was going to be too rushed, too much going on, but how they actually tied it together properly in the timeline, like starting with action was correct with Thor and stuff.
Well, yeah, there was a news article in the lead up to it that they said that with all the characters in the film, if they gave them all equal amount of screen time, you're only going to see each character for 3.5 minutes. You know, and I've got to say how they melded the amount of cast and
you didn't notice.
You didn't even notice. It was just a fantastic film from beginning to end.
Yeah. So, favorite battle scene, guys? What do you reckon?
Oh, the end. No question.
Wakanda forever.
Yeah, Wakanda forever.
No question. It ain't even close. And you saw how my boy showed up, and he just wanted where Thanos at. You know what I mean?
Here's the thing. You know, he didn't like Black Panther. And I didn't watch it for a long time.
I'm talking about Thor.
Look,
I didn't watch it for a long time until it came out on Blu-ray recently. And
what did you
sat down and watched it. Man, fantastic film. Loved it.
Fantastic. I just watched it today.
Yeah.
And that's speaking of the villains, you know, the last 3 films, I wasn't a big fan of Ragnarok, but Hela was great, Killmonger was great, and Thanos was great.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, they've really redeemed themselves in the last few movies. In that regard, yeah.
Yeah, I loved Black Panther was fantastic, in my opinion, because that was like real stuff there. You know what I mean? So it was, I loved it. You know,
there was parts in it that I did enjoy, but it was just the overall, like with the other Marvel films, it just wasn't personally. I still love the first Captain America kind of thing. Like that's my kind of thing. But Infinity War, I think, just blew everything out of the water for me. Like that, when I walked out of it because Jason saw it first, and he's like, "How did it go?" And I'm like, "Best Marvel film so far I've watched."
Yeah,
easy.
Yeah, I didn't tell him anything. That I said, I actually, when I came home, I said, "Listen, in my opinion, that's their best one yet." You know, and I think they've really.
And if he says that, I knew it was going to be good.
I like it.
Fanboy here. I
still don't think it was the best one. That's for me. I still Winter Soldier is my favorite one.
Fair enough.
I thought
loved Winter Soldier, but there was one thing that really burned me with Winter Soldier. That it was a very much a copy of the story arc from a 90s run in the comics, America Lost.
Mm.
I don't know if you ever read it, where basically you start to see a lot of racial tensions in that building up in America, and a lot of right-wing groups and that's starting to pop up and stuff, predominantly from down the south, but it's starting to go across all of America. Right. And you find out that the vice president or the defense secretary, and that is actually the Red Skull. And he's been that position for many, many years leading up. Like after World War II, like he integrated into American politics and he's been building his way up slowly.
Okay.
And I would have loved to have seen Robert Redford's character be the Red Skull.
That's actually that was actually a Marvel story. It was, they had a Shield book and Nick Fury, you know, obviously was the main guy, and that was the storyline. He found out that Hydra was running the world and everything. He'd been working for Hydra all these years. So it was actually, I got it in here somewhere, but I got to find
it. Or something like that. The guy wasn't it?
I can't remember.
Guy Rich or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, it was something, but it was Nick Fury was the one that found out that the Hydra was running everything. You know, so it was actually, and I actually called before I saw it. I actually called it. I said, I bet they're gonna use that storyline. You know what I mean? So yeah, that's my favorite Marvel movie. I say that. I still like the first Avengers, you know, a little bit better than I like this one. I say that Winter Soldier, the first Avengers, and then Infinity War for me.
Well, see, I'm a massive Captain America fan, so I've got to put Captain America, the first Avenger, in there in a close second.
Right, that's fair enough.
Only because I thought that they did for an origin story, they did it really, really well.
It was entertaining all the way through. There was no parts where you're sitting, you're like kind of waiting for the next one to start. Yeah, it was just like all your attention.
And there was no real plot holes besides probably the first time that when Captain America attacked that base to rescue Bucky and Red Skull goes, "Oh, that's it, we've lost because he's here." And you're like, "Hey, hang on a minute!" But then the rest of the movie you spend fighting him, and you're like, "Well, hang on a minute, why didn't you say?"
No, but see, that's a bit of the Disney.
Yeah.
That's what happened. Like, it's not a bad thing, but because they try to extend the story. But that's like thing. Look, really, one little thing like that, not even close to ruining the film, though.
No.
But I will say this: out of all the villains, I think out of most of the comic book movies ever made, Hugo Weaving to me was the closest to off the pages I've ever. I mean, he looked just like him. I mean, it was uncanny how much he looked like Red Skull.
Yeah. You know? Oh, the makeup and special effects were amazing.
It was incredible, and they were saying that this Red Skull that was in Infinity War, they said that wasn't him. They got somebody else to be the Red Skull.
Really?
You know, yeah, that wasn't him.
Jeez, that's surprising because they usually make a lot of effort to get the people back. And wasn't he part of the photo for the 10-year?
I'm not sure. It might have been, but I think they were saying he didn't want to do it anymore because he was tired of dealing with the prosthetics and everything, and so
he did say that he had a very uncomfortable time with the prosthetics when filming that movie. So
so I think that was the deal with that. But overall, I mean, it was a great movie. Yeah. Great movie, So
well, on the TV, Krypton. Got to get on Krypton, brother.
Still haven't watched it.
Yeah, I'm gonna check it out. I'm gonna definitely check it out.
You've been talking about it
mate,
so much.
You haven't seen
spoilers because I know either of you guys haven't been watching it, okay? But for the best interpretation of Brainiac that I've seen, like in cinema or TV, they win, right? The continuity with Krypton's history, for someone who's a massive Superman fan and read countless stories of the evolution of Krypton. I know all about their Clone Wars and everything like through their history. Mate, spot on. Spot on. I mean, but they're also doing things where, and here's the thing, not a spoiler, but anyone who's a big DC fan knows this name. Adam Strange is in it.
Really?
Yes. He basically travels from the future to the whole thing's centered around ensuring that Superman comes to be. Because an enemy from Superman's future has traveled back in the past to eradicate him from the timeline.
Sounds like Terminator.
Yeah.
Krypton
Terminator. It's the Terminator, but on Krypton.
They need the T2, the one in the second one, I think. What was the T2, was it?
And here is one spoiler that I will drop. Just because I know that it will get you all
No,
enticed to watch
because
it.
Jason always has to have
I was
going to
throw one in.
I'm like in the back, I'm like, Jason, don't tell me anything. But it's like, nah, just this. Ends up telling me the whole movie.
In the comics, in the movies, in TV shows, in every possible medium, General Zod never talks about his father. Okay, he'll talk a lot about the House of Zod and what they stand for and their history and stuff like that, but he never mentions his father. Right? That's because his father was actually Superman's granddad. That means he's actually Kal-El's uncle and Jor-El's brother. Now you understand why they were such good friends.
This is like...
But here's the kicker. He never knew.
Okay. Man, it sounds like this Krypton's going to be a soap opera.
And also, you know how Superman was Krypton's first natural birth in centuries?
Mm-hmm.
He wasn't. Zod was.
Really?
Because he was created out of wedlock. They actually did the naughty.
Oh, here we go.
Because you know how everything's made in the Matrix chambers. They pair the DNA up to create the new person in their like their offspring. Well, Seg-El, which is Superman's granddad, was actually promised to another woman to be partnered with. But he was in love with General Zod's mother.
Okay.
And they'd been having an affair for years in the lead up to it.
Well, I don't know about you, Thor, but I'm going to tell Jason to stop because I actually want to watch the show.
Yeah.
And he's
it worked! It worked!
But Thor, what about you? You watch any shows you're into?
Not lately, not anything comic book related, you know, but you know, I'm waiting on the Mayans to come on this fall from Sons of Anarchy. See?
That should be good. Yeah.
I haven't heard about it.
It's, well, you know, Sons of Anarchy.
Yeah.
It's basically the Mexican biker gangs.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, should be good.
And look, another one too. If we're on the sci-fi front, you've got to watch Star Trek Discovery. The first season's done and dusted.
Oh, come on, man! You asking me to watch
Star
Trek?
I'm a Star Wars and a Star Trek fan, but I've got to say, for the first time in the conjoined history of the franchises running, Star Trek's winning with this one over what Star Wars has produced recently.
Yeah, I hear you. Even though next week Solo's coming out, so
see, like the only way that could win, as me and Jason agreed in, is if it's like done like Rogue One.
If
they do it like Rogue One.
And I have faith that it will be with Ron Howard on board. So, I mean, I know a lot of the reviews and that have been a bit mixed, but then, look, people have been coming out of Deadpool too, and some people are saying best movie ever, best Marvel movie ever, and others are going, oh, it was a piece of crap.
Some people they said about the first Deadpool too was the same.
Yeah, true.
Similar,
so, I mean,
it matters like if you like the humor or not.
That's where I'm pretty excited to go. So we're going to go see that either tonight or tomorrow morning. So
Saturday night, man, you got to book that in now, or you're not getting a seat.
Well, I'll tell you what, the movie's open in an hour and a half. Could go to the 11 a.m. session. Man, I need another coffee before we do that.
That's what I used to do. Go early, man.
Come down, we'll get you a ticket. Come down and watch it with us.
Hey, I hop in the Millennium Falcon and it's on.
And we've neglected to mention, love the pimped out shirt.
Yes.
Thank you. That's Thanos DC style, baby.
Well, anyway, I reckon that's us for this week, guys.
Yeah, fantastic.
Thanks for watching, everyone. Stay tuned. We're sure that we'll have more people on the next time.
Yeah, all the boys. Yeah, when all the boys come back, we know that this caught up in busy lives. You know,
Punisher, Boba Fett, all the killers are coming.
Yeah, yeah. And we'll try and get Ian out of his orange jumpsuit at Gitmo and get him on camera.
All right, well, I guess that's it then.
All right, guys. Have fun collecting and
happy collecting.
And remember, always have a good collectitude.
Never have a bad attitude. Have a good collectitude.
See, we're still practicing the sign off. We haven't got it down pat yet. So maybe next episode.
See you guys.
Peace, y'all.